Good morning, LinkedIn friends, Value First Nation. Welcome back to another episode of Value First AI Daily, your collaborative AI intelligence report. And missing Nico today, but also excited to announce that George B. Thomas is going to be joining us on the daily again.
Yeah,
I guess that
yeah.
started today. Yeah.
It does. It starts today. It'll roll through moving forward. There has just been a change in who I am, what I think, what I'm playing around with on the daily, and things that I'm learning. And Chris, if anybody has paid attention to me historically, when I start learning cool shit, I like to share it with the world. And so I had to find this outlet of like, listen, I'm doing a lot with AI assisted, human empowered things, and so I'm knocked back on your door, and I'm like, hey, brother, what, what does it look like if I come back? And so you graciously was like, yeah, yeah. And so I'm
Yeah.
excited to see the journey and what we can teach and what we can create in 2026 around empowering humans with their AI assistants and AI tools and AI mindsets and all sorts of fun stuff. So I'm excited, brother.
Yeah, well, we're obviously happy to have you back. And I not necessarily adore, I've just like you've been in the window, like playing out in the
Yeah,
yard,
I've
and
been
like
an
you come
elf on the
back in when
shelf.
it's time to, right? But yeah, man, because what we're also experiencing, and I'm experiencing it every day right now, is this kind of inner loop. First of all, there's no better way to to keep up with what you want to keep up with than doing content every day with other smart people who are doing and care about the same things. But it's also creating this inner loop, like the speed at which we're able to go. We're seeing the gap between
Yeah.
what we think is possible and what other people think is possible.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I want to touch on that specifically today because I think, and we talked about AI native last week, but I really think that's going to be a powerful filter that people can use to figure out, uh, whether they're ready, whether the use case that, like, we're seeing, oh, you should be getting value out of it with AI. We're seeing that
Yeah.
everywhere, every use case. But I think an example that came up yesterday, and you happened to touch on it before we started, like if somebody says to you, if a leader shows up and says, uh, I need a HubSpot person. I want to
Yeah.
hire a HubSpot person.
Yeah.
Like, do you give them a HubSpot person? Like, and here's the difference. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna dive deeper if we want, but like, if you're an AI native business or you have an AI native mindset, and you might not even be there yet, but your strategy for 26 is to transform into an AI native business. The way that that you need HubSpot stage mindset and effectively, right? That HubSpot, if you bring somebody in to do that HubSpot, that's the HubSpot that helps you write some better emails and send some more emails, make some more calls, like do some more of the old stuff better. And uh yeah, so I think like so if somebody were to come up to me and ask that now, I know for sure that because I also want to be able to challenge leaders. Like, no, you don't just need a HubSpot person. And if you ask AI and if you ask anybody out there right now what a HubSpot person is supposed to do for you, it's marketing and sales and CRM
Oh,
and like helping sales teams save a little bit of time here and there. and it's just a world away from where you need to be.
Yeah, it's interesting, Chris. When I hear you talk about this, one, you're kind of trying to make me talk about something that I'm not sure I'm ready to talk about online. I'll tease that and leave that lay there right now. But I'm about to say something that blows my mind that I'm about to say, and that is AI is so behind what a business owner needs from a HubSpot human at this point. It's crazy. Like if you go and ask AI, can you give me a job description for somebody that will help me with my HubSpot? It will not talk about knowledge vaults. It will not talk about Breeze assistant agents. It will not talk about the ability to leverage into an MCP. It will not talk about the ability to get a private API key. It will not talk about being able to use the terminal to set up a project on your computer where you can either design a new email programmable module that hooks into HubDB, or actually create a process where you can just say, create me a deal, and you get a deal, a quote, line items, everything put into place. The AI will not give you that as the tool set that your HubSpot person needs. But those are the tool sets in 2026 and beyond that your HubSpot person needs. Like, listen, I teased this out before the show with you. I said, I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it, but I don't know if I'm a HubSpot person anymore. Like we've talked about T-shaped marketers in the past where it's like, I'm really deep in HubSpot and I can do video editing and I can do podcasting. And I used to be a designer and I'm a developer, and it's like T-shaped format. Ladies and gentlemen, we may be in the era where AI needs to be the long leg of the T. And I just happen to also know how to do HubSpot really well. Like this is the world that we're living in.
Well, that's absolutely right. And that's the reason, like, if I know, because here's what happened this week, right? I'm working with Ryan Ginsberg on a fun new project where I finally get to implement like everything. Like we're transforming the business. They've got some homegrown systems that they use, and they've agreed to let us use the whole HubSpot data model, build a little bit of cool stuff on top of that, like, app wise, right? But you got a little accounting system over here, but HubSpot owns the business model of the business and the data model. And what we showed them this week, they literally said to me after they had been introduced to HubSpot in March, right? They bought HubSpot. They were self-starting on HubSpot, self-implementing. And that meant marketing, lead, like, let's get some leads in here. God, it feels so clunky. Like it's so hard to get data in there. Where am I supposed to go? And what they said was it's a completely different HubSpot that I'm seeing right now. And if I know the leaders see HubSpot in that light, I'm happy. I'm happy to be a HubSpot guy. Yeah. Because it's business infrastructure, and now AI infrastructure is what the business actually needs. So what was a conversation I had last night is if you're training somebody, like if we know, because there's a ton of people that are asking for HubSpot people right now, right? It's a huge need.
It's taking over the world.
Right. But this is the part where like we need to help leaders move beyond that simple ask and say, what do you actually need? You need somebody who can help you be AI native, which is building AI native infrastructure. And if you ask for that, now you're going to bring somebody in that will have the remit and have the support they need to actually build HubSpot into your business and not just treat it like the quick win emailing tool, right? Which is what you will get if you keep it at. And it's like this vicious cycle of if that's what you get, that's what the business sees it as. And then HubSpot's never the system of record, and all these issues that we've been dealing with for years don't get solved because we just have we're misinformed about what HubSpot can and should do for the business.
Yeah. It's funny. I was So I have clients, obviously, at Sidekick Strategies, and one of my clients wants to bring on somebody to help. And I play nice with humans. I'm like, that's fine. Let's bring on somebody to help. And in bringing on this somebody said, hey, I've used HubSpot. I kind of know HubSpot. And I said, well, when did you use HubSpot? And they said 2 years ago, to which I tried not to laugh. And I said, well, I don't care if you used it 2 months ago. What we need to do is just let's meet for an hour and I can give you the kind of here's where we're at now state of HubSpot. But before that, please just go in and start to look around. It wasn't like 45 minutes after the meeting where we were talking to this human about like coming in and helping. And I know HubSpot. I got this email of like, wow, HubSpot's changed. You think like the amount of things, by the way, this is just HubSpot we're talking about right now. The amount of things that have just changed in life that should make you go, wow, life has changed. Like it's time to, and I don't mean this as any type of joke. It is time to wake up and activate yourself. And it is time to realize we're in the world where execution is key, which means education is key. Last night, I spent 3 hours watching YouTube videos. I didn't spend it gaming on my, PS5. I didn't spend it taking a nap. I didn't spend it watching The Good Doctor. I spent 3 hours watching YouTube videos to be able to activate and execute on things that would get the business and me into better places in the future. Are you doing that right now for yourself?
Yeah. And you mentioned that in the Slack, execution is king.
Yeah.
What does that make mindset?
Oh,
because that's the thing, right?
Like God with a little G. God with a little G, maybe. I don't know. I don't even know what's higher than the king. Is there anything higher than king?
Right. Because that's why I'm trying to bring. Like, if you can understand what AI native means and use this filter, AI helps you do whatever you ask it to do right now, and that can be a lot of slop and lots more content that nobody resonates with. It can help your team send out 100 more emails, get 100 more connections, but then are they ready to have a conversation that's actually going to drive value, right?
So can I talk about that? Can I talk about the fact that I am so sick and tired? I feel like I'm going to go out in public and I'm going to hear somebody say this word in an event and I'm going to walk up and I'm just going to punch them in their face. If I hear AI slop one more time, because here's what let's go to the principles of life. Stop being lazy. Stop being lazy. Because there's no reason for there to be AI slop. Between skills and sub-agents and process and systems, there is zero reason to be putting crap in the world. But you have to understand the power of skills. You have to understand how to activate sub-agents. You actually have to have a damn plan, a goal, a thing that you're trying to help humans with, instead of thinking that you're gaming the system and being lazy with a tool that lets you golf more. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
Well, that's the thing. We're still in the mode where AI is very much a mirror of humans and how they think and how they operate. And before there's AI slop, there's a lot of human slop, right? Like slide decks that nobody reads or understands, like spreadsheets, all this time we spend, just spinning the wheels, thinking we have to check boxes. Like basically anything where it would have been easy to call somebody out for checking a box, like the output was slop.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like
and that's the thing. Like, if you're asking AI to help you do more of that, that's
Chris,
not gonna work out.
That might be the postable moment, right? By the way, of this episode, like the social tweet or the social X, I hate that. The moment in this is that AI is your mirror. And I would challenge people to look in the mirror. That's all I'm going to say. I'll leave it right there. That's a different podcast.
Yeah. That's going to be like a recurring theme,
Yeah.
I think, is how important mindset is.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because it's easier than ever to activate and execute. But it'll help you go in whichever way you want. And
but that's the key right there. That's the key. You can activate and execute in all the wrong directions. So what becomes more important than ever is this saying, and I believe the first time I may have heard it, or at least it stuck, was with Remington Begg, and there's like, you got to slow down to speed up. More than ever, I would say you have to slow down to speed up so that you can activate and take execution into the right direction instead of 7 of the wrong directions. Now, be careful with that, though, because not every direction is a wrong direction. Meaning, did I spend time creating a website that is like revenueloopsystem.com or something like that, where I paint it out to the world like this is what I wish HubSpot would have launched instead of Loop Marketing? Yeah. Was it a waste of time? No, it was a learning lesson. Did I throw out a superhumanframework.com website that needs to be like radically updated and changed based on things that I know now? Yes. Was it the wrong direction? No, and something needed to be out there, but it was a learning lesson. So there is this idea of giving yourself the ability to play, but then really slowing down to speed up on the big thing. The $1 million idea, the way that you want to change the world, the major problem that you're super passionate about. You know, that's your purpose, right? And so now all of a sudden you can use the 4 cornerstones to activate in the right direction and just demolish anything that you ever thought you were able to do and impact more humans than you ever thought were possible. But it's because you gave yourself time to play. You learned the lessons, and then you really sat down and was like, this is where we're going to apply that. This is how we're going to make that impact. This is the thing that will be our ripples when we get to the end of this.
Yeah. And good to have you with us today, Chad. This is the new struggle. Now that we're activated and filled with so much possibility and potential, the canvas becomes so large, it gets harder to decide what to paint.
Yes.
And
well, here's the thing, though, too, about that. I was watching this video, Chad. I love that you just said that. I was watching this video where maybe you do want to paint 20, 30, 50, 100 paintings, because then 5 of them become the ones that are worth something. Like in this video that I was watching, it even everybody uses Thomas Edison. I get so tired of hearing about Thomas Edison and the damn light bulb. It just drives me insane. But like all his ideas and the light bulb and the phonograph, right? And so sometimes you just want to paint because you're a painter. But sometimes you need to paint because you need to build a masterpiece. So I love that Chad brought that in there. So like there's this dichotomy of like giving yourself the freedom, but forcing yourself to have the focus. Ooh, that's post.
There you go. Oh man. I mean, what are we focusing on? That's the thing. Like that's where it's like I'm less of a planning guy and more of like the North Star.
Yeah.
Like the goal.
You said something the other day, Chris. You said something the other day that blew my mind. I think it was in Slack. You said you wake up and there's the work to do, and then there's the work that you actually do to get the things done that need to be done. And like it's this big goal, like you're talking about the North Star, but it's not like how it was historically, where it's like, I have these 7 things, and if I get these 7 things done, my day is great. You might get to thing 3, and all of a sudden you just realize that you could build this thing that you could never build before. And so that becomes the rest of your day, right? Freedom, but focus. A destination, but things that...
And I've actually got... I'm trying to share this message because it relates strongly to like my natural ADHD tendencies, right? And this concept, I'm calling it woven rope right now, but like because I want to work, I naturally work on just jumping from stuff to stuff. That's like how it's my natural operating system. And now, thanks to AI, like we have a rope is stronger than any single thread. Progress happens when you're weaving any thread, not just one specific thread. Jumping between threads isn't distraction, it's construction. And like I tie that to when we went to the AI summit last year.
Yeah.
Like all these leaders who are building successful companies, who have built traditionally successful companies, and now they're building AI companies. Not one damn person on the stage talked about focus.
Yeah.
They talked about speed and experimentation and creativity, and bring people in who have deep domain expertise and can ship stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's a personal example from a couple of weeks ago that in this moment, like, because I'm continuing to understand what that actually means. And now I think we can create flags. Like, if you get a feeling like tech debt is being created in that moment,
Yeah.
like, stop yourself and think about like, all right, like, and what happened was, we were figuring out how to build VIP portals. Like we put this value first operations repo together, you just bring
Yep.
everything in there, and now you can just like ready make VIP portals for clients. And the way that I initially built it out was like, hey, I did this thing over here. I want it to look like that, but here, so bring that in. And then there's other clients we want to do that for too, right? So of course, as we did that, the original context was for one client.
Yeah.
Right. So everything that got built out to be for all the clients still had a little taste of that initial
Yeah.
plan in there. Right. And
Yeah.
what happened was I clicked on, my email wasn't correct in this thing. And I asked Claude to update it for each portal. And he said he had to update it in 18 different places.
Oopsie.
And at that point, because I had been talking to Ryan, I was like, yeah, at some point we probably want to refactor this. Like,
Yeah.
in that moment, I was like, nope, that's not gonna fly. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and what was different is since he was building and we were building this, I could just say, now that you know what the whole plan is, what we're trying to do here, let's rebuild it right now with this simple context that he's definitely in line with, where it's ridiculous to have to update this thing in 18 different places.
Yeah.
30 minutes rebuilt.
Can I
The
tell
whole thing
you
refactored.
Can I tell you where my brain goes when I hear you talking about this? First of all, my brain goes to this thing that is just tech bloat. We buy Avoma and we need 20% of it. We buy, Canva, we need 5% of it. We're in a world where tech bloat shouldn't be a thing because we can create the thing with the exact functions that we need. So when I hear the story that you're telling, I'm like, oh man, tech bloat and old school creation. Here's one thing that I think I'm going to probably preach over and over and over again. It's clone the philosophy, don't copy the code. Because if you copy the code, you're going to bring things in that people don't need. But if you clone the philosophy, you can then make it exactly what they need based on the thing that you're trying to provide. So imagine VIP, a portal philosophy skill, but now it needs to be for this data model and these names and this thing and these actions, because not every portal needs the same VIP portal. You see what I'm saying? And so there's this thing of like understanding what you want to bring into it. So for instance, I'll give you an example. Watching a video last night, And I hear these guys talk about these like super dope designers. And I'm sitting there and I had to pause the TV because I watch YouTube on TV. Judge me if you want. I have an iPad, I have a phone, but I watch it on TV. I'm one of the smaller numbers, maybe, or maybe our numbers are growing. Anyway, not why we're here. I'm watching that and I stop. I'm like, hang on a second. Claude, I need to do something. I need you to research who are the top 10 digital designers in the last 5 years that are award winning for apps, SaaS software, and websites. Go do this deep research. Okay, Claude, the reason I want you to do this deep research is because I want you to find the matching philosophies and best practices across these 10 top designers over the last 3 years. All right, Claude, you've got those philosophies. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to create a design auditor skill that now I can deploy and say, as this auditor and these philosophies and best practices, please go look at this website and return back to me the things that we should change to take it from 80% to 100%. Claude said, damn, this is a good idea. Let me go ahead and start working on that right now. I hope people understand what just happened and what I did. You have the access to all the brains on the planet to clone the philosophies so that you can create your own code to live the life that you want to live and do the things that you need to do.
All there. And we're going to be here every day helping you unlock that. But like you, we'd love to hear which things are resonating, which are not. Like there's so much opportunity. And the more that we can talk about it is really what solves this. Because even what I'm starting to understand is like, it's got to be a show and tell, like when we're talking about use cases for it to resonate. But also that's where this underlying need for AI native and unified context, like what worked for somebody else, like if they had their data shit together and you don't, it's not going to work for you, right? And it has nothing to do with AI not working for you. And trying to help this balance of understanding and not being overwhelmed and getting to the point, well, I can't use that, I can't do that then. And here's a great example from earlier in the week, and then we'll wrap. A trusted client, somebody I've known for a long time, somebody I know loves AI, knows what it's supposed to be doing for him and his business. And we're talking about like how this gets done in the organization, like who owns the AI initiative and the infrastructure, and while understanding that it is imperative that the business understands and leverages AI like immediately. And like he said, yeah, I don't know, I don't think it's there yet. And I said, and while also saying like, yeah, I use it every day personally, but I can't even imagine seeing it in production day to day in the business, right? And when he approaches that from AI is not there yet, that's incorrect. It's just incorrect, right? What's not there, which he also knows, which is the project that we're working on, AI cannot do the work because your systems and your data and your people are not unified.
Yeah.
Right?
Listen, and then I'll shut up. The amount of things in the last 14 days that I've looked at my HubSpot portal and realized I need to change or clean up based on the way that I now want to use AI inside of my portal is numerous. And I know that it's a hill that I've got to climb because it's that important, because AI is that ready.
Yeah. So we'll be back at it next week. George and I got probably a mountain of HubSpot updates to go through. So everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Thanks, George.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Chris.